Hi everybody, and welcome back to Confrontation. Today we have a little bit different podcast episode. I think it will be very interesting for you, all of you, to hear a little about special applications of cryptocurrency and how they're used all over the world for very, very interesting applications. And to discuss that today with me is Serhii Liutov, where we will discuss a little bit about the ongoing war in Ukraine and how cryptocurrencies in Ukraine are harnessed and used to do different kind of things, run charities, raise money, pay for things. So welcome, Serhii. Maybe give a little bit of an introduction of yourself, and then let's go into the discussion.
Okay, my name is Sergey. I'm a data scientist, so I create some applications using artificial intelligence, and I work with crypto. I have been trading for around 3 years, and I have been working with crypto for around 4 or 5 years. And I can tell some use cases why we use crypto during the war, and as you said, we can use it in order to raise money, and we can work in the blockchain space and get salary and invest in crypto.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you already started to talk about some of the applications, and my question is, in general, when we look at the situation in Ukraine, there's of course a lot of money required, right? There is humanitarian support. There is, I know that there was bought bulletproof vests, drones, other things using funds that were raised with cryptocurrency. So my question is, why cryptocurrency? Why that cannot be done over, I don't know, PayPal, bank accounts, things like this? Is there any specific reason for this? Is there was the problematics to get the fund, or what was the reasoning to start it over crypto? Do you know a little bit about that, maybe?
I would say that this is very good source for funding, because we can simplify the process of transferring the money from different bank accounts across different countries. For example, now we can't send money to other countries via SWIFT, and the crypto is a good way to transfer money. For example, this first reason why we can use crypto. Then I have many friends who work in the crypto space, and they have own companies, and it's a good way to get more funds from just simple investors in crypto, other clients, other users who use crypto, and we can attract more funds from using other sources. So, of course, our government can raise money officially from other governments, but our volunteers can use crypto as a good way and very simple and fast way to transfer money from other people to Ukraine and use it for fundraising, for raising for our needs, humanitarian needs, for example.
Okay, so basically, as I understand it, right, the main value there is there's people sitting all over the world who want to send some donations for whatever in Ukraine, be it humanitarian aid, military aid, whatever it is. And basically, sending the money to Ukraine would likely be problematic, right? There might be some fees on the banks. It starts with that, but then there might be also questions of the bank, right? If you're sitting in the US and you want to send larger monies to Ukraine, maybe some banks would ask a lot of questions, which makes it kind of a hassle. So basically, your argument is that cryptocurrency make it easier because I mean, you take the money, you transfer it, it's there, and there is no problem. Do I see this right? Is this correct or
Yes,
understand?
I agree with you that we can decrease fees in this way, and we can simplify the way of transferring money from one country to another country. And as I told you, we can raise money in local currency or in USD, Euro, or other currencies. But if we use crypto, we can cover extra layer of people who can and who want to donate money.
Okay, I mean this sounds like basically what cryptocurrency was made of, right? To generate like an economy that works parallel to the classical economy. So I think that sounds like basically the perfect use case for cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
Do you see that there is that it brought some kind of benefit to the fundraising efforts in Ukraine, to like from a time perspective, right? I mean, I remember when I mean, I guess I don't know how you see it. Maybe you can comment also on that. But how I from outside understood it, in the beginning, I thought like, okay, the war started now in the beginning of this year. However, as I understood from talking with a couple of Ukrainians, the view in Ukraine is more like that it was like an extension of the already existing war, things like a couple of years in the Donbass and Luhansk region. So, but still, my view on this was that things happening quite fast, right? It was like basically Russia invaded, and immediately the fundraising started a couple of days later, especially over crypto. Do you see that the speed of reaction, that there was benefit of crypto to have that, or could that be also done over like classical, I don't know, PayPal or something like that?
I think that we could raise money via other sources as well, but as you told, if person wants to send a large amount, crypto is a very good way for that, because we can send millions of dollars just in a couple of minutes. So anyway, crypto was a good way to raise money in the beginning and now as well. And we don't raise money just in simple way, just providing addresses, but addresses of wallets, but also some people I know, they create NFT collections, just create new entities on OpenSea, on other NFT marketplaces, and try to raise money that way. And I think it helps us a lot, because I know many people from my environment, and they raised a lot of money, just a couple of millions dollars in the beginning, and then they are still continuing to raise money every month, and it helps them to buy some equipment for our soldiers.
Okay, so basically, would you say it's not just the pure transfer and the raising of funds, but there's also a level of providing like some kind of like service or like selling artwork or things like this, which basically can support the efforts in Ukraine. So that sounds actually pretty cool. It sounds like for me that sounds the bad the situation of course in Ukraine is, but I think it shows really the power of like a marketplace, of like a free marketplace, right? Because this is what crypto is. you can immediately put something out there. You can sell things, services, artwork, whatever it is, and you can raise funds with this. I think this really shows the power of that technology. But then the question is, I mean, to have like that kind of power, you also need always a community. So, as I understand, there is a quite strong crypto community in Ukraine. I knew this already way before all of that started. I mean, I live in Latvia, so I'm not that far off, right? So the question is, why is that? Why is there such a strong community? How that switch happened from like being Bitcoin entrepreneurs, Bitcoin developers, to raising millions of US dollars in charity. Maybe you could talk a little bit about this, because it sounds quite, different lifestyle, to be very honest.
It's a very good question, but I don't know how to answer it. Of course, we have a good community in Ukraine, and many of my friends just travel around the world, and we have many entrepreneurs who create some exchanges and new projects and funds. It helps us to grow our community, and many people just travel over the world to visit some conferences, and it helps us to grow our community.
Mm-hmm. But I think there is also, as I understand, there is a lot of government support, as I understand. If I'm not mistaken, you have like a digitalization minister or something similar like that, which is also pushing for blockchain applications and many other things. So do you see that this blockchain community is government supported, or is the government like supporting it because it was already there and strong, right? Like an existing economy that you want to support. How do you see that? How that happened in Ukraine?
Okay. First, our government issues some laws in order to support crypto, but they just do some steps in this direction. But anyway, in the beginning of the war, the government issued some law which supported the development of the blockchain industry in Ukraine. But I don't remember all the details. But anyway, our government took some steps in order to support the blockchain industry in Ukraine. This is first point. And second, about taxes, and we can work for crypto. We can work with crypto, but and I can get a salary in crypto, but I can pay taxes yet after getting that money. So, for example, I can open my private entrepreneur and then get some money to my bank account from the exchange, for example. But I don't know how to pay taxes for that activity. And I hope that our government will solve this issue, and then the crypto space will grow much faster in Ukraine officially. I understand that many of government officials, many of them have crypto, and they show it in the declaration, in official documents, so everyone can see that. But we need to do some additional steps in order to understand how to pay taxes, and then we can create more companies with jurisdiction in Ukraine, pay taxes, and we will have extra money for our economy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically, Ukraine is also struggling with what most countries are struggling with, is basically saying what crypto is, right? Is it a currency? Is it a commodity? Is it whatever, right? This is, I think, the general reason that most countries have. I mean, in Europe, it's the same, and it's not even like regulated consistently, right? Basically, every country in the world regulates it completely different, which makes it even worse because if you go from one country to another, you might end up with completely different regulation and you might be in trouble. But as I understand, basically, what I hear from what you say is that in some kind of way, of course, not a good way, and of course not the best way how that was happening, but through the war, the efforts in crypto and in the blockchain technology and in the community in Ukraine was actually supported, right? Because the government saw the value in doing that and might increase the support for the community. Do I see this correctly? You said that they put out some new laws in the beginning of the war, so there seemed to be some understanding that this is important, an important tool in that situation.
I just googled what our government did. I will comment it. Just a second. So the President Volodymyr Zelensky signed the law of Ukraine on virtual assets, adopted by the Verkhovna Rada on February 17. So they just want to legalize the virtual assets like cryptocurrencies in Ukraine. And I agree with you that it's very difficult to classify these assets. And I talked to some lawyers. It's really difficult, and from the financial point of view as well, because it's I don't know how to classify them in financial. I forgot how it's called in financial reports.
So accounting, basically, how you do your accounting with cryptocurrencies.
And I have some background in financial economics as well. And to be honest, I don't know. I can I can argue with other people how to classify it, because, for example, we can consider different use cases for cryptocurrencies. First of all, it can be just an asset. If I created an NFT and sold it, and I have this NFT, and I can sell that NFT, get some money, and we need to understand how to classify this income for me. And do I need to pay some taxes or not? This first point. Second point, farming. For example, I can stake some tokens or coins, and then I get more tokens. And how do I need to pay taxes on that income as well? I don't know, to be honest, too. And another point, I can get money as an airdrop. And this is just a gift. Then I don't need to pay any taxes, I think. And it's very difficult to classify all assets. And we can think about farming, for example, from another perspective. I can buy the land, and I can grow some vegetables. All those vegetables will not be taxed in real life. And the same I can say about crypto tokens. Maybe I have my land, but virtual land where I can grow my virtual assets. And why do I need to pay taxes on that? They are mine virtual assets. And maybe I don't want to sell them, or maybe I will be interested in exchanging of them, but it's very difficult to tax them.
Yeah, makes complete sense. I mean, this is it's a very difficult topic, but I mean, it's good that Ukrainian government understands the benefits of that and is trying at least their best to resolve that, because many governments don't do that. That's actually the truth. Many governments try to avoid it completely or try to tax it like super hard. How it's unfortunately happening in the U.S., that they crack down on it. That's of course, yeah, the technology will never go away, right? So somehow governments have to learn to live with it. So of course, then comes the question how you ended up in crypto. Why crypto? Like, now we talked about like the general community, but I guess you have also your story why you started to do something in crypto. Maybe you can
I,
talk about it.
I started working with crypto as an ICO analyst in 2018 when we had a spike or just a hype when the market went up, and I was interested in learning cryptocurrencies, so I started working as an ICO analyst. I worked at Ethic Lab, and we just learned new projects and invested in that projects to make money on the hype. So learned new projects, then analyzed them, invested in those projects, and after listing on exchanges, we sold our tokens. And it was my first job in the blockchain space. Then the market went down, and I decided to move to another company. And then I worked as blockchain analyst for a New York company called Crypto Briefing. There I wrote deep technical articles about projects like Litecoin, Dogecoin, Binance Coin, and so I received a new experience, new knowledge, and that helped me to invest in cryptocurrencies much better. And later I left Crypto Briefing as well, and I started trading on Binance Exchange, and I learned many books how to trade, and I have been trading for 3-4 years. Now I trade quite successfully, but it's just like a hobby for me, because I have my main job and I have this extra hobby for myself. And also I have some companies, crypto. I have a company called Purify, where I have been working for 3 or 4 months. I just analyze Binance Smart transactions on the Binance Smart Chain. We create social networks in order to analyze all transactions for some projects. For example, there is a project Green Metaverse token, Steppen, and we analyze all transactions between different wallets, and we try to de-anonymize that network. So we can find we can identify all centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, some wallets of the team of investors, and then we can see how the money for how the money flows look like for a particular project. And this is what I do at that company.
Okay, and these analytics, basically, as I understand, you can use them for different kind of purposes. One of them is probably to figure out if this is a potential scam, right? A project, because if you see that there is like weird movements between founder wallets, it's probably an indicator that there's something wrong. Do I get this right?
Can you repeat your question? Why do you think that the wallet can be, the project can be scammed?
No. What I mean is like by analyzing the movements between different kind of wallets, you can basically analyze if this is a legit project or not. This was my question. If this is true.
Of course, we can analyze all transactions for any projects. For example, I worked for crypto exchange, and I needed to find very good projects.
Mhm.
And the first point at which I looked, it was blockchain data. How many wallets they have, how many money they have on how the money distribution looks like between all wallets, and we can trace all transactions from the first wallet, from the contract deployer to all other wallets. And in the current company, we can create the whole graph from the first day, from the first transaction, and look at all transactions. And it's very useful to identify scam projects as well, but we don't do that. However, we can do that if I would work as a blockchain analyst again. I would use this tool because it's very useful. First, we can analyze social activity for any projects. However, we can analyze blockchain data, and blockchain data can show that the project is good or not much faster. For example, Steppen, it has around 10,000 of transactions, new transactions per day, or even more, and new wallets are being created every day. So it's very good indicator that this project is alive. And when we analyze other projects, gamify projects like Matterhorn or Battleverse, it's just gaming projects in the gaming industry. I can see that only 2 or 5 or up to 10 new wallets are created every day. So it shows to me that this project isn't very active, and I don't want to invest my money in that project. From the investment point of view, Purify creates a very good tool for investors and for owners as well, because owners can look at these indicators as well.
Okay, super interesting. What you do in your job. I think this is very relevant also to this channel, because I'm often my perspective for things is usually, because I'm a technical person, so my perspective is usually looking at from like the fundamentals, which is for me usually like technology, team, market, things like that. But of course, sometimes this data is very important. I mean, you can fake a lot, right, on social media, but the blockchain is not lying. So if you have, like, I don't know, 20,000 followers on Twitter, but you don't have much wallets in your blockchain, it's likely, like you likely bought these followers. So yeah,
I agree with you, and blockchain activity is a very good indicator for an investor. So last year, in August, September, I I created a script which can analyze all projects on CoinMarketCap, so around 7,000 projects. And I could analyze the social activity because I created an algorithm that can analyze Twitter, Telegram, Facebook, so all the social networks. And I could set some scores for that social activity. And also I analyzed blockchain data and set some scores as well. And then by analyzing blockchain activity, I found many projects, very good projects. I wouldn't say that we need to invest in those projects, but I saw that there would be the hype for those projects because all people, because the project had around 300,000 of wallets. It's very good indicator that that project is active, and there were around millions of transactions per those wallets, and people just held tokens. They didn't sell it, and they had roadmap with some news that they are going to do some marketing, do some updates of their product, and it helped me to identify that project, invest in that project, and make some money. But now we can do it much better because at that time I just analyzed the number of token holders or a number of transactions. Now we can analyze all this data in real time, just every day. And this is very good and useful information. Of course, there are many companies which can provide that information if we pay for subscription.
Okay, that's actually. I think now I see that we probably should have another podcast at some time to talk about that, because I think I would be very interested to discuss about, because what you basically are looking at are social indicators, right? It's like how many wallets are there, how big is the activity on social media, and then there's of course the question. I mean, that tells you that there's a hype around, but it doesn't tell you if it's a good project, right? I mean, there's in the last couple of months, we have seen that there was a lot of projects which had a lot of hype around them, but basically failed afterwards because there was just nothing much more than a hype around the project. So it would be actually very interesting if you're interested at some point to have a longer discussion about that, right? Basically, like social indicators versus like fundamental indicators, like technology, team, things like this. I think this could be also very interesting topic for the future.
I agree. We can talk about all indicators which we can use in order to estimate the perspectives for any projects, because I have a big experience in that, so I can share it with you and just explain how we can analyze any projects. Of course, many people analyze projects differently, but I can tell you how I did that and how I can do that now. And what else? We can discuss some indicators, fundamental indicators. Also, we need to track the GitHub activity as well. It's very important, but it's very important to understand what they do, because they can show fake activity as well, even on GitHub, and it's not a problem for very smart people to do that.
And of course, I mean, you can deliver to GitHub whatever, right? The code doesn't have to be valid if you submit it, so it doesn't,
And even investors can invest in projects, and if they don't have some good technical specialists, they will not be able to check it. Okay, and also, we can talk about charts. I mean, technical indicators for. I mean, from trading point of view, we can analyze any projects, analyze any charts of any token, and I can explain how I look at those charts and understand what the next movement will be.
That sounds really interesting. I think we should have another discussion about exactly this at some point, because I think this would be very interesting to discuss about that, because I know that there's a lot of people around who especially like retail investors who don't really understand it to be honest, I have my take on it. Probably it's not the best. There's other people who look only on charts, which is probably also not the best. So I think it would be very interesting to have the discussion.
I want to add that some teachers say that the price include the whole information about project, and I can agree to some point, but it's not true in real cases. But I can agree somehow with that because I can just look at the chart, delete all technical indicators, and look only at candles. And that candle can show some information how the price will move next day. However, if I tell this to owners, they will laugh at me because they know how they buy this movement. So they just hire market makers who make those volumes, and so from some point of view, it's a fake as well. But from the trading point of view, we can extract all information from the candles, and that candle will include some information which is important for traders, and we can make a decision in order to make money.
Sure, because it's more like a psychological effect, right, than a real effect. When you look at the candles, if the market moves, it moves in a certain direction, and it's just by herd psychology, basically. Yeah, I get it. But coming back to the case of Ukraine, when you discussed already, like analyzing the blockchain, things like this. I think one point you point out there very well is like the blockchain doesn't lie, right? Like it's not, everybody in the beginning put it as a tool of privacy, blockchain, but the reality is it's actually the most let's say analyzable or the most unforgiving thing that you could have, because every transaction is forever written into the blockchain. So another dimension that it's maybe interesting to discuss is, of course, also how to trace funds, right? Because I think one big issue with charity in general, especially when it's in such a chaotic way, because of course you had no time in Ukraine to set up some kind of like certified charities that collect money, which is completely understandable because that takes time, which was not. And blockchain has an ability to give this traceability. Do I see this right?
Yes, that's very good point. I have an idea of my own NFT collection. And of course, I can finish doing it. This is not a problem to create an NFT collection. But my goal to raise money later. But the most difficult is to show other people that this good project, and we will use these funds for humanitarian needs or for our army. And this is really a problem for those people who don't have a good organization with the name. I just I just answer in the following way. We have to show, first of all, we have to show how we use these funds. For example, my friends, they created a fund, an organization, in order to raise money for humanitarian needs or for our army, and they show how they use that funds. So they show some photos and some reports how they use this money, and it can increase the trust for of such organization. But we have to do something first of all in order to raise money. And when when my friends do that, they already have some name. So they have some companies in the blockchain space, and other people can trust them. Some big crypto participants can invest, can send money to those organizations because they know the owner of that organization. This one point how people can raise money. Another point, just raise money from friends and show reports what they do. And for example, Zelensky, our president, he founded Yeya.Team organization for raising money for humanitarian needs, and as from the, so we can create organization and say that we working with the government, and then it can help us as well. Or people people are some people are very famous people, and they can create that organization to raise money as well. For me personally, it's quite difficult to do, and if I continue working on my NFT collection in order to raise money for humanitarian needs, I will contact some prominent organization in Ukraine, or maybe Yeya.Team, and say that just we cooperated together, and if you buy some NFTs from my NFT collection, I will transfer all funds to Yeya.Team, for example, and then we will provide users with reports how we are going to use that money.
Yeah, and this will be traceable, right? Because if I send you money to a wallet and you forward it to Yeya.Team, I can trace basically that transaction, and I know that it actually happened. So that will actually increase the clarity or the traceability of such. Yeah.
From this point of view, blockchain, the main goal of blockchain is to provide privacy and anonymity for users, but in some cases we can de-anonymize blockchain in order to show that we really sent this money to from one wallet to another wallet, and we use this money for some needs.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very interesting point. Yeah, I'm happy also when you put your NFT project out. Let me know. I'm happy also to share it with my community, because I think there's a lot of people also in my community who have already supported Ukraine and who want to do more, because yeah, I mean, it's an important step, especially for Europeans. They're very, very committed to that. So I think it's a good thing. It's good to talk about the technological part of it, but that's of course just one, because I think the most interesting thing is if it then really helps, because this is what I see. What is the big opportunity of blockchain, right? Is like, it was all the time just like I had some people, I had a discussion, and they said like number go up, right? This was basically the only use case of cryptocurrency. You bought it, waited until it went up, and sold it. So pure trading, which is of course not the long-term goal of such technology. But if we see it in Ukraine, there's actually real impact, right? There's real things bought with funds that were transmitted over cryptocurrency that have real impact, that are not just like some kind of digital good or something like this. Is real things. These are vests that protect soldiers. These are food, medication, things like this. So I think that really shows that there is opportunity, right? There is, like, the technology is not just an empty technology, but it's really something that can lead to something good if used in the correct way. So I think this is very interesting. That's why I enjoy also the discussion, because I think there is something in general, like when that stuff is all over, and where hopefully everybody in Ukraine and in the whole region goes back to some life as before. I hope there's something we can take out of that, right? There's something which afterwards still exists, where we understand, like, hey, we actually created like a real application for cryptocurrency that was working, and how we transfer this in like a, let's say, peacetime peacetime mode.
I think that the word just it's just a boost for our community to use crypto much wider.
Yeah.
And if we talk about NFT collections, I see that many people in Ukraine started using NFT as a way to raise money, and this is very good. Is this a real case for NFT? It's not just a scam. Of course, people can make scam projects or something like that. But anyway, we can see that NFTs has a real use case in for Ukraine, because we can raise money. This is first point. Second point, we have many blockchains. We can create many wallets on many blockchains and raise money directly from all people over the world, and they can send money to directly to us. Just in a couple of minutes, we will get money, and we can use it in Ukraine. It's very useful and very fast way to raise money. We can't do that very fast in Ukraine if we want to get money from the US, for example. We will need to use SWIFT payments, and crypto solve this issue. And I want to add that, for example, I get salary in Ukraine in local currency, and I can get salary as private entrepreneur in USD, but our National Bank of Ukraine fixed our exchange rates at 36. For example, if we talk about USD and hryvnias, we have 36. We have to pay 36 hryvnias for one USD, for $1. But the exchange rate on black market, in the black market, is higher than 40. And if I get salary in USD, then I can I will get, for example, $1,000, but I will lose 10% when I convert it in Ukraine. But if I get salary in cryptocurrency, 1,000, I can find the way how to sell it in the black market, and I will get I can lose 1% or 2%, but not 10% or 15%. And it's another application of the cryptocurrency. Some people who work in the blockchain space, they can use this benefit as well. But all other people, IT specialists, they can use around 10, 15, sometimes 20% of their income.
Okay,
It's
wow.
Application.
Wow, I really get it now. That makes completely sense. That Ukraine switched so rapidly to crypto applications, right? It makes complete sense now. Yeah, very good discussion. I really enjoyed it. I hope we can go on with this discussion. I will leave you now for today. It was, I think, very valuable for me personally to understand why that happened so fast in Ukraine, the applications of cryptocurrency, and what are actually the applications. It was very good for me to understand that. And I hope we can have future discussions, because I would love to discuss with you how to analyze graphs, how to analyze projects on social basis, on fundamental basis, on technical basis. That would be super interesting. And if you're interested, I would be happy to have you again on the channel.
Okay, me too. I will be interested in talking on other topics as well.
Perfect.
We can discuss a lot about crypto.
Perfect. That sounds great. If you said some of your friends run charities. If you have any links, send them later to me. I will put them for the viewers down in the description below. So if anybody wants to send some funds to support Ukraine, they're happy to do so. Yeah, thanks, Serhii, and see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.